At the end of this chapter, we will do a meditation. It will just be reading this affirmation. I'll read it a couple of times and leave several minutes of silence at the end. I think it's going to be pretty powerful. I can't wait for you to hear it. How to activate the psychic money machine. To prosper means to succeed, to thrive, to turn out well. In other words, when you are prospering, you are expanding, growing spiritually, mentally, financially, socially, and intellectually. In order to truly prosper, it is necessary that you become a channel through which the life principle flows freely, harmoniously, joyously, and lovingly. I suggest that you establish a definite method of working and thinking, and that you practice it regularly and systematically every day. How prosperity thoughts changed his life. One young man who consulted with me had experienced a poverty complex for many years and had received no answers to his prayers. He had prayed for prosperity, but the fear of poverty continuously weighed on his mind, and naturally, he attracted more lack and limitation than prosperity. The subconscious mind accepts the dominant of two ideas. After talking with me, he began to realize that his thought image of wealth produces wealth, and that every thought is creative unless it is neutralized by a counter thought of greater intensity. Furthermore, he realized that his thought and belief about poverty was greater than his belief in the infinite riches all around him. Consequently, he changed his thoughts and kept them changed. I wrote out a prosperity prayer for him as follows. I know it will benefit you also. An effective prosperity prayer. I know there is only one source, the life principle, from which all things flow. It created the universe and all things therein contained. I am a focal point of the divine presence. My mind is open and receptive. I am a free-flowing channel for harmony, beauty, guidance, wealth, and the riches of the infinite. I know that health, wealth, and success are released from within and appear on the without. I am now in harmony with the infinite riches within and without, and I know these thoughts are sinking into my subconscious mind and will be reflected on the screen of space. I wish for everyone all the blessings of life. I am open and receptive to God's riches, spiritual, mental, and material, and they flow to me in avalanches of abundance. His changed thinking suddenly changed him into a prosperous person. This young man focused his thoughts on God's riches rather than on poverty, and made it a special point not to deny what he affirmed. In a month's time, his whole life was transformed. He affirmed the above truths morning and evening for 10 minutes knowing that he was actually writing down these truths in his subconscious mind, causing the latter to be activated and to release its hidden treasures. Although he had been a salesman for 10 years with rather dim prospects for the future, suddenly he was made sales manager at $30,000 a year plus prime benefits. How she wrote her desires in her prayerful heart and received astounding results. A young woman learned that her conscious mind could be likened to a pen, and that she could inscribe her true desires on her subconscious by frequent habitation of the mind with the desires of her heart. Accordingly, she decided to write 2 desires in her deeper mind by thinking of each one separately and with interest, knowing that her subconscious would respond exactly according to the impression made upon it. Her most cherished desires. Her first desire was as follows: "My mother and I are going on a 2-week holiday to Mexico. We have agreed that infinite intelligence opens up the way in divine order." Both of them pictured themselves on the plane, and they conducted an animated conversation in their imagination with the hostesses. They felt the tangibility of the plane and the naturalness of the whole thing. After about a week, this woman came to my office all excited, saying, "Look what I found! This envelope on the street containing 20 $100 bills and a note inside. Whoever finds this, keep it. God bless you." And that's all. There was no name or identification of any kind on the envelope. Now, it happens that there are eccentric millionaires who do things like this from time to time, which is a possible explanation of her good fortune. They went on a wonderful extended tour of Mexico. The ways of your subconscious to get results are truly past finding out. Her second desire was for marriage. This is what she wrote with her conscious mind pen in her subconscious. "I know my desire for marriage and happiness is the voice of God in me, urging me to lead a full and happy life. I know that I am one with the infinite now. I know and believe there's a man waiting to love and cherish me. I know I can contribute to his happiness and peace. I can be a great asset to him. I can cherish, love, and inspire him to greatness. He loves my ideals, and I love his ideals. He does not want to make me over, neither do I want to make him over. There are mutual love, freedom, and respect between us. These words go forth and accomplish whereunto they are sent. I have written this request in my subconscious mind with faith and confidence, and I decree it is done, finished, and established in my deeper mind. Whenever I think of marriage, I shall remind myself that infinite intelligence of my subconscious is bringing this to pass in divine order." A few weeks went by, and the dentist, who had been working on her teeth for some weeks, suddenly proposed to her, and she accepted. I had the joy and satisfaction of performing the marriage ceremony. This young woman gained a new insight into the wonders of her subconscious mind. Think prosperous and wholesome thoughts, and wonders happen as you pray. How riches of daily healthy thinking brought great benefits. A young, divorced woman was resisting life by complaining, "I'm leading a humdrum existence. I'm lonesome, frustrated, and I have no friends. I lead a drab, weary existence," etc. However, she learned that her thoughts are creative, and that by thinking negatively along the above lines, she was actually compounding her misery, because whatever we give attention to, the subconscious magnifies and multiplies in our experience. After learning something about the laws of mind in our interviews, she reversed her habitual frustrated thinking and began to affirm frequently and systematically, "I am happy, joyous, and free. I am loving, kind, harmonious, and peaceful. I sing the song of praise in the Lord, which is my strength." She realized and understood the mental law that whatever she attached to "I am," she would manifest and express. She made a habit of affirming the above mental truths, and her whole life was changed from the former, so-called drab existence to a fullness of life, including marriage to a brilliant engineer, a new home, plus a new perspective on a new insight into the wonders of the riches within her. How a housewife planned for prosperity and happiness and got results. A housewife who conferred with me was constantly whining and complaining. "There is no happiness for me. I was born on the wrong side of the tracks. I'm stuck to a treadmill sort of existence. I wash, cook, iron, scrub, wash dishes and windows, and take care of 3 children." She was resenting and resisting her environment and felt life was against her and unkind to her. During our discussions, however, she began to awaken to the truth that prosperity and happiness represent a state of mind. Accordingly, she reversed her way of thinking and began to claim, "Divine right action is mine. Success is mine. Wealth is mine. Happiness is mine. God's river of peace governs my mind, body, and activates, and whatever I do will prosper. I know my thoughts are creative. As an engineer plans a bridge, so am I planning prosperity and happiness now. I believe implicitly in the law of the Bible, which promises, ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." Matthew 7:7. The housewife accordingly stirred up the gift of God's prosperity within her, and her relationship to her work, her home, and her children changed. She released the imprisoned splendors within. Money came in from totally unexpected sources, and she became completely satisfied with her new lot in life. There are beauty and abundance where you are. God is indescribable beauty, and God indwells you. He walks and talks in you. Your mind and your spirit, your thoughts and your feelings all represent God within you. The invisible life and power within you is God. Your thought, being creative, is also God in action in your life. Begin to contemplate that God's beauty and riches flow through your thoughts, words, and deeds. And you will pass on the beauty and riches of God to your family, friends, and neighbors. Give thanks for all the blessings you have. You can make your home beautiful, and you can inspire others to experience the riches of your deeper mind. You are the artist, the weaver, the designer, and the architect of your life. The riches of his secret plan for making a profitable business deal. I know of a man operating a large market whose brother, a partner, had recently died. This brother had bequeathed his 1/2 interest in the business to his 2 nieces. These girls were very negative and demanding, creating all sorts of problems for this man. They refused to sell their 1/2 interest. He said to me that following an argument with them over money from the business, he wrote down on a piece of paper, "I loose these girls to God completely. They are in their true place. Nothing is forever. This condition passes away now. It is God in action." He placed this writing in a drawer in his desk, which was marked, "With God all things are possible," and forgot about it. In 2 weeks' time, the 2 girls agreed to sell their interest, and there was a perfect, harmonious solution for his getting a profitable deal for the whole business. His technique was sound. Actually, he was writing the solution in his subconscious mind, and his method of placing it in a drawer in his desk was simply an outer symbol. He released his problem to the infinite intelligence of his subconscious mind, which is the secret place from which you draw forth the answer to all your problems. How to consider the riches of the infinite. You can look at the stars at night. The cumulus clouds are there for you to admire, and the sky is as blue for you as it is for everyone. You can look at the sunset, whether you are rich or poor. You can listen to the songs of the birds and become enraptured with the beauty all around you. Begin to see the divine presence in all things about you. In the rising sun, the golden moon, the sky, the mountains, the rivers, the rivulets, and the streams, contemplate the beauty of all nature, and don't forget to see the love in your dog's eyes. Life is a mirror which reflects back to us precisely that which we deposit in our minds. Look through the eyes of love and beauty and love. Beauty and the riches of the infinite will come back to you. Longfellow said, "Look not mournfully into the past. It comes not back again. Wisely improve the present. It is the thing. Go forth to meet the shadowy future without fear and a manly heart," Seneca said. We can only say he is anxious about the future, to whom the present is unprofitable. God, your good, is the eternal now. Claim your good and all the riches of life now. What you can conceive, you can achieve through the wisdom and power of your subconscious mind. The wonders of prosperous and healthy riding out of your desires. Every New Year's Eve, I'm requested to preside at an assembly and to conduct a New Year's prayer for a group of men and their wives. The custom is that each person writes out clearly his or her desire of their heart. There are only 4 categories such as health, wealth, love, and expression. No matter what you seek comes under one of these classifications. If, for example, you request wisdom as your sole desire, that comes under expression, or your desire to release more and more of the life, love, truth, beauty, and riches of the deeper mind. In writing down their desires, it was suggested that a friend or relative be included in one of them. For example, if the friend or relative was involved in a lawsuit, they were instructed to write down, "There is divine and harmonious solution through the infinite justice and harmony of God." How desires written out have come to be fulfilled. It is amazing how many of these desires are answered before the end of the year. In many instances, some of their prayers are answered early the following year, but then it happens that the answers actually come at the right time. When they are ready, all these written requests are placed in sealed envelopes and given to one of the men present, who places them in his safe at home. And on the following New Year's Eve, each one is presented with his or her envelope, and the owner reads it privately. One man showed me his written request and said everyone that had been fulfilled in divine order. One of his desires was that he would have more time for his sons and more for recreation and travel with his family. He was transferred and promoted and received 6 weeks vacation, enabling him to take his family on a 5-week cruise. Also, he had much more time for his family during the week. Another request by a mother was that her 2 sons would never be called to service. They were deeply spiritual boys and abhorred war. They have never been called, and, as she said, they never will be. She decreed and wrote, "My boys are God's sons. God places them in their true place, where they are doing what they love to do. God knows and God cares." All these men and women write down the deepest desires of their hearts, trusting and believing that the infinite intelligence in their subconscious mind will bring their desires to pass in divine order. I always conclude my prayer with the group in this way. We decree that all these written desires are inscribed in the subconscious of each, and that all these desires come forth in divine law and order. These prayers are answered either as written or in a grander and greater way in the sight of the higher self, which knows all and sees all. All these men and women are amazed to see the wonderful way in which these prayers are answered. The real secret of it all. The secret purpose of writing these desires and sealing them is that we release them completely to the wisdom of the subconscious with faith and confidence, knowing that as the sun rises in the morning, so will there be a resurrection of all these desires in divine order. This is called divine indifference. When you have this attitude of mind, your prayers are always answered. Divine indifference means that you know it is impossible for your prayer to fail. For it is written, "He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee." Deuteronomy 31:6. Chapter points to remember. Number 1. You are prospering when you are expanding along all lines spiritually, mentally, intellectually, and financially. You should have all the money you need to do what you want to do and when you want to do it. 2. Your subconscious mind accepts the dominant of 2 ideas: reason out clearly all the reasons why all things visible and invisible come from one source. All things made by man came out of the one mind, and all things made by God came out of the same mind. Think prosperity thoughts. Think of riches of all kinds and the immense wealth of the world. And your subconscious will respond to your habitual thinking. Supplant all thoughts of poverty with the thought of God's opulence and endless resources. Be open and receptive and let wealth flow freely to you. Be a good receiver. 3. Your conscious mind is the pen with which you inscribe your true desires in your subconscious. Think quietly and with interest of each desire separately, watering it and nurturing it with faith and expectancy. Do this 3 or 4 times a day. By frequent habitation of the mind, you will impregnate your subconscious, and the cherished desires of your heart will be realized. 4. Never engage in thinking of lack, limitation, loneliness, and frustration. On the contrary, have a mental plan of the things you want, and then realize that whatever you attach to I am, you will create in your life. Get a little phrase easily graven on the memory, such as, I am happy, joyous, and free. Repeat it over and over again as a lullaby. Do it knowingly and feelingly. As you sow in your subconscious, so also you reap. 5. Instead of grumbling, whining, and complaining about present conditions, reverse that attitude of mind and claim boldly, divine right action is mine. Divine success is mine. Divine love fills my soul, and whatever I do will prosper. Know that your thoughts are creative, and that you are what you think all day long. Have a healthy respect for your thoughts. Your thought is your prayer. 6. Begin to contemplate that God's beauty and riches flow freely through your thoughts, words, and deeds, and you will experience the results of your thinking. Furthermore, you will be able to pass on to your family the riches acquired by contemplation. You must have in order to give. It is only the rich people who can contribute richly to all. The poor cannot give. 7. When you are in a quandary and are dealing with difficult people, it is a good thing to write out clearly your desire, as follows. This too will pass away, and there is a divine and harmonious solution. Through the wisdom of my subconscious, I loose it and let it go now. You can put this written prayer in a drawer marked, "With God all things are possible." This is a symbolic way of releasing it, and it works wonders. 8. Life is a mirror for the king and the beggar, reflecting back to each of us precisely that which we deposit in our mind. 9. I have conducted group prayers on New Year's Eve, where each person writes out his or her heart's desire. These prayers are sealed in an envelope, locked away for 1 year, and opened the following New Year's Eve. Each member is amazed at the way their prayers were answered. Many had forgotten what they wrote and were astounded. The secret is that they released all their prayers with faith and confidence to the deeper mind, which knows all and sees all. They learned that when one has a divine indifference, the prayer is always answered. Divine indifference is not carelessness or apathy. Rather, it means that you know whatever your claim and feel to be true in your heart must come to pass. Therefore, you wait for the answer with greater faith, assurance, and conviction than the man who waits for the coming of the dawn. Meditation for impregnating your subconscious mind. The following meditation, sincerely believed by you and repeated often, will yield you great treasure. Be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. My creative word is my silent conviction that my prayer is answered. When I speak the word for healing, success, or prosperity, my word is spoken in the consciousness of life and power, knowing that it is done. My word has power because it is one with omnipotence. The words I speak are always constructive and creative. When I pray, my words are full of life, love, and feeling. This makes my affirmations, thoughts, and words creative. I know the greater my faith behind the word spoken, the more power it has. The words I use form a definite mold which determine what form my thought is to take. Divine intelligence operates through me now and reveals to me what I need to know. I have the answer now. I am at peace. God is peace. I know there is only one source, the life principle from which all things flow. It created the universe and all things therein contained. I am a focal point of the divine presence. My mind is open and receptive. I am a free-flowing channel for harmony, beauty, guidance, wealth, and the riches of the infinite. I know that health, wealth, and success are released from within and appear on the without. I am now in harmony with the infinite riches within and without, and I know these thoughts are sinking into my subconscious mind and will be reflected on the screen of space. I wish for everyone all the blessings of life. I am open and receptive to God's riches, spiritual, mental, and material, and they flow to me in avalanches of abundance. I know my body is the temple where God dwells. I honor and exalt the divine presence within me. Divine love fills my soul, and His river of peace flows through my mind and heart at all times. I eat my food with joy, knowing that it is transmuted into beauty, harmony, wholeness, and perfection. I know God hath need of me where I am, and I am divinely expressed. I am loved. I am needed. I am wanted. I am appreciated by my Father and others. I radiate love, peace, and goodwill to everyone at all times. My food and drink are God's ideas which unfold within me, making me strong, wholesome, and full of divine energy. I forgive myself for harboring negative, destructive thoughts about myself and others. I fully and freely forgive everyone, and I sincerely wish for them health, happiness, peace, and all the blessings of life. Whenever the person comes into my mind whom I dislike, I will immediately affirm, I have released you. God be with you. I know when I have forgiven others because I feel no sting in my mind. The infinite healing presence of God flows through me, and His river of peace flows through me. I know that divine love saturates my entire being, and God's love dissolves everything unlike itself. The healing light of God is focused at that point in my mind where the problem is, and it is shattered, making way for the Holy Spirit, Spirit of wholeness, to indwell every thought and every cell. I give thanks for the healing that is taking place now, for I know all healing is of the Most High. I know God is guiding my doctor, and whatever he does will bless me. Thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. I now give a pattern of success and prosperity to the deeper mind within me, which is the law. I now identify myself with the infinite source of supply. I listen to the still small voice of God within me. This inner voice leads, guides, and governs all my activities, and I am one with the abundance of God. I know and believe that there are new and better ways of conducting my business. Infinite intelligence reveals the new ways to me. I am growing in wisdom and understanding. My business is God's business. I am divinely prospered in all ways. Divine wisdom within me reveals the ways and means by which all my affairs are adjusted in the right way immediately. The words of faith and conviction which I now speak open up all the necessary doors or avenues for my success and prosperity. I know that the Lord will perfect that which concerneth me. My feet are kept in perfect path because I am a son of the living God. Where there is no vision, the people perish. My vision is that I desire to know more of God and the way He works. My vision is for perfect health, harmony, and peace. My vision is the inner faith that infinite Spirit leads and guides me now and always. I know and believe that the God power within me answers my prayer. This is a deep conviction with me. I know that the mental picture to which I remain faithful will be developed in my subconscious mind and come forth on the screen of space. I make it my daily practice to imagine for myself and others only that which is noble, wonderful, and godlike. I now imagine that I am doing the thing I want to do. I imagine that I now possess the things I long to possess. I imagine I am what I long to be. To make it real, I feel the reality of it. I know that it is so. Thank you, Father.